Welcome to the Millcreek Government Channel. I am Judy Zelina, and I'm so pleased to have on our program today the Executive Director of the Erie City Mission, Pastor Rick Crocker. And I wanted Rick on the show today because, well, we've been talking for how many years now, Rick?
It's been 6 years.
6 years.
Yes.
And Rick is going to be leaving the mission, and I just wanted to thank him for all that he's done. And also, I just want to recap some of your accomplishments. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, because I know you're busy.
Well, I am busy, and as you can imagine right now, with 5 weeks to go, I'm tying up loose ends, and so there are a lot of things that I need to make sure are completed before I head to the Southwest. But thank you, Judy, for having me today. It's always been something I've looked forward to visit with you a couple of times a year, and this will be our last one.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it. What I wanted to do is recap. I can remember, and we were just talking briefly before the show, Rick would come on the show and he'd say, oh, well, I have this idea and we're going to be doing this and building this, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, right. And he accomplished it. I do want to let our viewers know, what were some of your goals when you came into this position and what you have realized and excelled at?
You know, Judy, it's been interesting looking back over the past 6 years. Mm-hmm. And when I came into the leadership role at the City Mission 6 years ago, really I didn't have a clear sense of all the things that we would accomplish together. But now looking backward and seeing what has been accomplished, it's really very gratifying. And I recognize that it's not been my own doing, but it's been a whole team of people, staff people, board members, volunteers, community members making all of this happen. But there have been some great things that we can be very, very grateful for that have been accomplished. I think of just the completion of the first phase of our building program.
I know, I remember
in 2012, we completed that first phase, a brand new dormitory, shelter for 56 men, and then program space for 40 men in our addictions recovery program. The beautiful part about that, it's a 3-story, 18,000 square foot building. The beautiful part of that is that it's entirely debt-free and has been since the very beginning. It's because of the generosity of the Erie community that was made possible, and we were able to enter into that facility in January of 2013 with no debt, no interest costs. It was just a wonderful thing, and again, could not have been made possible without the goodness and kindness of Erie donors. So amazing.
Now, Erie donors have given money, you know, just to donations and contributions. How else have the residents, have we been able to help the City Mission grow?
You know, the Erie City Mission has been around for 104 years, so it has a long history.
104 years?
Founded in 1911. So wow. It has a long history, and we're grateful for that beautiful history that we have, but also the many people who have supported the mission over the years. And there are churches and individuals and businesses and service organizations that have been so good to us at the mission, either by donating financially. Some have donated their time by volunteering. Typically in any one year, we have over 55,000 volunteer hours logged every year, wow. Which is a savings to the mission of over $500,000. There's no way that we could afford to pay that much in staff costs. So to have that kind of volunteer involvement is crucial.
Now I know you have, well actually it has grown. You have an annual event that you do every year, started on a small scale, your Knockout Homelessness.
Right. That had already begun when I came 6 years ago. Mm-hmm. They had originally started, this will be our 8th year. They started at Kahi Auditorium and then graduated to Rainbow Gardens.
Okay.
And then the last, I think, 3 years we've been at the Bayfront Convention Center.
And it's sold out.
Sold out.
Every time.
And so this year, as we anticipate in February of 2016, We're anticipating having to move one of the separation walls to be able to accommodate more individuals this year.
Oh, my goodness.
The plans are in place and moving forward for February. I won't be here to enjoy it, but looking forward to, that's really become a signature event for the Erie City Mission.
It really has. It really has. But you know, there's been a lot of community support for you too. Also, you have a lot of stores throughout the area where people can drop off donations. And then if they regret the donation, they can go buy it back.
We were talking about that before the show. Maybe you can confess what you do.
I do.
Yeah, and there again, I think that's another instance of the generosity of Erie people. And I want to say, Judy, to all your viewers, I don't think, and I've lived here for over 3 decades now, I don't think that I've ever discovered a community that is any more generous than the Erie community. There's something about Erie people that really get behind Erie people.
You're right.
They are generous, they're supportive, they're helpful, they're wanting to be involved, roll up their sleeves and get involved. And I've seen that firsthand over my time at the mission over the last 6 years. But to our stores, we have 2 stores, one in Erie and one in Girard.
Okay.
And those 2 stores provide low-cost goods to the public. And the revenue from those 2 stores is then reinvested into the operations of the mission, which pays for utilities and food costs and staff costs and all of those things. We've seen a lot of changes in our thrift operation. One of the challenges, frankly, in the last 6 years has been there are a lot of consignment stores that are springing up, and I get that.
Right.
But there are some donors who have chosen, because they want to get a little extra pin money, they'll donate their couch to a consignment store and see if they can sell it through consignment and get a few dollars for it, rather than donating to a thrift shop where they're just getting maybe the tax write-off. But again, our thrift stores could not survive without the donations that come into our donation center daily and weekly and through the year, from clothing to furniture to small household items. And then those items are either given away through our family care center at no cost, or they are resold in one of our 2 thrift shops. And it's a great operation.
It is, and I think it's so important to reiterate that all the proceeds stay right here in Erie to help the mission.
That's right. And I always say to people, if you're really interested in helping here in Erie, then work through an agency like the Erie City Mission or other charities of your choice. Don't give to the national organizations where that money may not be coming back to this community in particular.
Exactly, exactly. And that's why I think it is so important. Now, do you still do textile recycling?
We do.
Okay, and I think this is something that people really do need to know. It always would be, when I was going through my clothes to give to the mission, you know, if it had a spot on it or it had a tear, I'm not going to give it because I wouldn't, you can't sell it. But in fact, under your administration, you implemented textile recycling.
Yes.
Do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about that?
Yeah, and that's changed a lot too. I'll tell you how that's changed. But yes, we still do textile recycling, and just as you've said, any textile that is clean and dry, if it's not worthy of being given away at no cost through our family care center or resold in one of our thrift shops, we call it bale, B-A-L-E.
Right.
We bale those textiles, and we sell those textiles on the global market.
Okay.
And there's a variety of uses. Some of it is shipped to third world countries to be resold there. Some of it is used in the auto industry. There are a lot of different applications for its use. I think it makes ecological sense, first of all, for us to do that. I think that we as citizens of this globe need to take seriously about what our impact on the environment is. So it's very green doing that kind of recycling. But it also produces revenue for organizations like the mission, and we are certainly not the only one doing this. There are many organizations that do. The challenge right now in the textile recycling is that the global market has become so flooded with supply that the prices have been driven down because there's such a supply and the demand is not there.
Right.
So we're seeing fluctuating prices on what revenue we're able to generate, and it's gone fairly low right now. We're a little bit concerned. In fact, some of the global vendors on this have even slowed down. Some even have shut down their operation, waiting for those prices to bounce back up again. And so that's impacted us at the Mission, where we still are baling textiles and shipping typically a tractor trailer load per month, but we've seen the price come way down just because of the situation in the global markets.
And being in the recycling area too at work, I do see it is a circle, because it'll get flooded, then people will back off, and then the prices will go up, and so it just does a turnaround. Same with like glass or plastics. It's
Paper,
just papers,
cardboard.
Cardboard. It just depends on what the market is.
That's right.
For that time frame. But I think it's wonderful that you try and implement everything that is given to the Mission by either giving it away or selling it, so you can put money back into the Mission.
Our goal is zero waste. In fact, one of the things that I've attempted to do, we haven't been fully successful, but we're getting there, is that we really reduce the amount of waste even going to our landfills. Because, you know, through our food operations, you can imagine we've tried to shift from styrofoam and use recycled paper on napkins and paper plates and things like that that are biodegradable, rather than filling up the landfill with styrofoam and that kind of thing that never deteriorates over time. So we really have been trying to be more ecologically sound in our daily operations and practices.
Well, that makes me very happy.
I want to make you happy.
You do, because I love recycling.
Yeah.
That's why I've always supported the Erie City Mission. It's no secret, and I've always told Rick from the beginning that you know, whenever I have anything, I will definitely take it down to the Erie City Mission. It's local. It's going to go help a family or somebody that needs it, or hopefully they can make some money on it. And then when it's in the store, we were laughing. Go in, because I do shop the store. If you haven't been to the store, you really should, because I think you'll be surprised at the items and the quality. But then I'll see something and say,
I donated that.
yeah, why did I give that away?
That happened to my wife and I recently. In our move, we've been kind of downsizing a bit, or right-sizing.
Yes.
So we donated a lot of things to the Mission, and it's been kind of a strange experience walking through the store
Seeing your
and
stuff.
seeing some of my things on the shelves, or my clothing on the rack. Yeah.
Okay, now you were talking about the building, you know, the building phase one that you finished. Is there a phase two?
There is, and we are hoping within the month, by the end of December, to wrap up the capital campaign, which will fund phase two, which is a new kitchen, dining room, and chapel assembly area.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, so that's been on the project board for a while, and we've just been in the capital expansion program, and we're 78, as of today, 80% of the way there. We're hoping to totally complete that campaign by the end of December.
Wonderful.
And then get ready to build. And the construction project is going to be led by you know, my successor, and that will happen in the next couple of years. Looking forward to that, and I hope that maybe someday I'll be able to get on a plane from Dallas, Fort Worth, and come back this way and celebrate with everyone here at the completion of that project. How wonderful it will be to have a new kitchen and dining room. Right now, our dining room is crowded at 150 people, and there are many times during the month when there's a line standing out the door. So how nice it will be to have a facility that will seat up to 350 people, and really accommodate our guests in a way that treats them with dignity and respect.
Well, you always do.
Thank you.
The holidays, around the holidays, there's always seems to be more need or more awareness of people that are needing meals. Tell me about what the Mission does for the Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for the holidays. How do you help those individuals?
Well, we're coming into, in November and December, are some of our busiest months in the calendar year.
Okay.
Clearly, it's an annual tradition. I don't have any idea how long it's been going on, but our Thanksgiving basket distribution takes place on the Monday prior to Thanksgiving. This year, we anticipate to serve over 1,300 or 1,400 families with a turkey and with all the necessary ingredients for a Thanksgiving feast, with the mashed potatoes and the pumpkin and everything that you would need for a Thanksgiving meal. So we anticipate providing over 1,400 meals that way. In addition to that, through our daily public lunch, which we serve 365 days a year, we will serve a Thanksgiving meal on Wednesday, the day prior to Thanksgiving. We try to coordinate, along with other social service agencies, the scheduling of our Thanksgiving meal, because we know that, for instance, Gannon University and the Sisters of St. Joseph and some other agencies provide a meal on Thanksgiving Day itself, so we want to provide on the day prior. At Christmas time, we provide Christmas for kids, and we provide a gift or gifts for children in the families of needy families, and we've done that for many, many years, and we'll do the same in December. We always try to provide a special gift for each of our guests in our shelter and in our program at Christmas time, and some special holiday blessings that we can pour out on their lives during the Christmas time. You know, it's interesting, while you mentioned about the need increasing at the holiday times, the beautiful thing is that people respond in an increased sort of way during the holiday times. So during the holiday, it's always such a blessing to me. People will stop by and deliver a turkey or a ham, or, you know, we just had some people drop off, I think it was about 20 50-pound bags of potatoes and things like that. And it just very, very generous. Again, it goes back to what we talked about already, the generosity of the Erie community.
And that's true. We are, as a community, are very generous. And we do want to help, especially the holidays. But it doesn't just stop at the holidays. You know, there's people that are hungry all year round. And I think it's wonderful that you provide a meal every single day of the year.
Yeah. And this sometimes is a hidden problem. I think people are getting educated as far as the immensity of the need, but 29% of Erie residents are living in poverty. 43% of them are children. And so those statistics are not acceptable to me and should not be acceptable to any one of us. But there's still a vast need out there. And with recent cutbacks in some of our largest employers here, it well could be that there will be additional people who are going to be needing help and a hand up during the days and months ahead.
That's why I think it's so important that especially the Erie City Mission is here and you guys stay strong and you grow, because the need does grow. And you know what? I've always said, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring for you. You don't know. I mean, there are many people that are in your programs. 10 years ago, would they ever think they would have ever been there? No.
No. And I always say that most of us, if not all of us, may be just 2 paychecks away from being in that same situation.
Probably. You're right.
And you're right. A lot of the people that we serve, whether it's through our family care center or in one of our programs, the addiction recovery program or our shelter programs, they didn't expect being in the situation they're in.
No.
And they've needed someone there to help them and to restore hope for them.
That's right. We talked about like the addiction program, and what is the family program? Tell me about that.
Family Care Center provides emergency groceries for families who are in need. Right now, I just talked to the director of our center the other day. We're serving over 750 families each week through our Family Care Center.
Really?
Let me say that again. Over 750 families each week are being served through that. Now, on the Family Care Center, we provide food in the one facility, and right next to, adjacent to, is our clothing pantry, and we serve families there through providing clothing, small household items, blankets, winter coats, gloves, hats, all of those things in the wintertime to needy families at no charge. That's at no cost. And we serve both through the clothing pantry and the food pantry over 750 families each week. It's truly humbling when you see what's going on there. And the staff and the volunteers there are so committed to what they're doing, and they do it with a spirit of compassion and generosity, and really treating each of our guests with great dignity and respect.
What are some of the other programs that you have in place there?
Well, you may remember that a year and a half ago we added a women's program. We purchased a facility from another nonprofit that was closing its doors. It's called Grace House, and it's a transitional living program for single women without children. That was the slice of the demographic where services, that population was being underserved,
Oh, okay.
Single women without children. And because we did not want to duplicate what other agencies are doing, that seemed to be where the focus of the need was. Mm-hmm. So that's what Grace House does. And we're a year and a half later now, and really encouraged by all the things that are happening for the women who are being served at Grace House.
Is it residential?
It is residential.
And how many women can you
we have a
accommodate?
capacity of up to 16, single occupancy at 9, double occupancy at 16. So we're ramping up to that. Right now we're kind of doing it very deliberately and carefully, making sure that we're ready for having 16 women in a residential program. And then some of the other programs are children and youth programs. All of this has happened within the last 6 years. Our summer day camp program,
Yes, I remember that.
called Bonkers for Jesus. It's
Yes.
fantastic program, so exciting, both an elementary age level and junior high grade level. And then that graduated into what we call Urban University, which is an after-school program for junior high age students. And we had started out in a pilot program in one school, in Wayne School, in the heart of the city. It succeeded so well that the school district asked us to move it from pilot stage to full implementation stage. And then, because it was so successful, Piper Burley asked us to open it up to them. So we're in 2 city schools now, Wayne and Piper Burley.
Oh my gosh, how wonderful.
And they're career-focused opportunities from, as an example, fashion merchandising. So the students have had the opportunity, the gracious help of Mercyhurst University opening their fashion lab, their fashion design and merchandising professors for these junior high students to be able to go into the fashion lab, learn that. Been fantastic opportunities.
I'm going to tell you something. You have implemented so many programs, and the programs that already were in place have grown, you know, under your watch for 6 years. I'm going to tell you something, Rick, you are going to be missed.
Thank you.
You really are. And if anyone feels the need to volunteer, to donate, please, their doors are always open, their phone lines are open, give them a call. They could use your help. As you said, you dock 55,000
volunteer hours last year.
a year. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and there are people who volunteer weekly, monthly, quarterly. We have work groups that come in from some of the local businesses and manufacturers that send work teams in, and all kinds of volunteer opportunities.
You couldn't do what you're doing without the volunteers. And there's no minimum. I mean, if you have a couple hours a week or a month, you'll be glad to give them something to do for those couple hours.
You bet.
But anyhow, again, I just want to thank you, Rick, for all you've done. It has been a pleasure talking with you for these 6 years.
Thank you, Judy.
And I am just amazed at all you have accomplished. When you leave Erie, you will be sorely missed.
Well, thank you. And I will miss the Erie community. I would be remiss not to say a big thank you to you personally. You've been a good friend and a friend of the Erie City Mission, but also to the Erie community.
Yes.
It's an amazing community.
It certainly is.
I've been so grateful to be a part of it.
Rick, God bless you in all of your endeavors down the road for you and your family. And I'm excited for your new adventure.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Viewers, again, if you have anything you want to donate, volunteer, or any questions on any of the programs that we talked about, feel free to give them a call, check out their website. And again, thank you for tuning into the Millcreek Government Channel. Until next time, have a wonderful day.
You're watching the Millcreek Government Channel, powered by WQLN Public Media.